Hello everyone, it's a pleasure to be with you and to have this chance to present our ongoing visual project on ethnographic film on hunting, conservation and multi-species entanglements in the Italian Alps. Our interest in this topic began with the story of this particular trophy. It is a hunting story, one of those that is told time and again, and again and again, by those who took part in it. Luigi, pictured here, and his friends and fellow hunters, Maurizio and Guglielmo. It happened a few years back, when the three hunters, here you can see Maurizio, set off to look for an old male chamois, a mountain goat, along a trail they knew well. After several hours they spotted one, but from where they were, they could not find a suitable rock or any other place to place the gun upon in order to aim and shoot. And so Guglielmo, whom you see here, and Maurizio put their alpenstocks, those are wooden hiking sticks, together, forming a cross. Luigi rested his gun on the improvised tripod and, standing, took aim. They kept absolutely still, even coordinating their breath. Boom! This hunting experience was so extraordinary that Guglielmo wrote it down as a story and gifted two printouts, carefully framed, to his friends.
This story took place in Vallarsa, an alpine municipality in Italy's Trentino province. The valley has a declining population of about 1,400 and doesn't feature much economic activity. Very little agriculture is still practiced, and tourism doesn't play much of a role either. Most residents of the valley commute to the nearby town of Rovereto for work. This was not always the case. Growing up there as a child, I myself saw the landscape changing as a consequence of the abandonment of mountain agriculture. In this picture here from the 1960s, you can see how land was heavily cultivated on terrace fields below and around the villages, followed by layers of forest and pastures above them. Today the pastures have disappeared under regrown forest. Cultivated land near villages is also disappearing fast. The forest has not simply grown back, it has also changed. Due to less and less logging, undergrowth spread and made the forest untidy, looking abandoned as many locals would see it. You can see the outcome of this abandonment of mountain agriculture most clearly in the winter, when the lines of former terrace fields re-emerge through defoliated shrubs and bushes. But what does this have to do with hunting? You might be starting to wonder. Well, the regrowth of forest and underwood created new habitat for a growing wildlife population of, for instance, mountain goats, like the one that Luigi killed. Red deer were actively introduced in the valley, where they now thrive. While these developments were mostly welcomed by hunters, others were less so. Famously, the wolf. Today, the valley is home to 2 packs of wolves, leading to much dissatisfaction and disenfranchisement among the valley's hunters and general population. The pictures here were taken by camera traps placed by hunters themselves across the valley.
The film we are working on aims to explore a simple question that cuts across all these dynamics. What can the experiences, practices, and reflections of hunters tell us about multi-species entanglements in the Alps? A simple question, but with important ramifications, we think, for many rural communities in the Alps and beyond. To answer this question, we began following and documenting hunting-related activities. Although seemingly the most obvious, actual hunting trips are but one practice of hunters. Here, we are leaving in the early hours of the day with a small group of hunters. Some of the threads that we would like to explore is hunting as an embodied experience of the landscape and its changes, but also how hunters are actively shaping the landscape by opening up trails, clearing bushes to maintain certain animal habitats, building lookout posts, and kill animals. We think of hunting as a particular social practice, how it creates friendships and companionships. Here we are interested in the role of storytelling as well as of the perpetuated exchange of meat, knowledge, favors, and hospitality. There's a lot of waiting in hunting, yet waiting is not doing nothing. It is looking out, locating sounds, perhaps caused by prey, reading clues left behind. We think hunting is a unique way of engaging with other than human life in the Alps, for its sensorial and attentive observance of landscape and animals.
Hunters, in our experience, spend most of their time with monitoring and counting animals and continuously exchange information on certain animal populations, their composition, and activities. The work of monitoring and counting is also required by the provincial association. We are also interested in how this particular bureaucratic landscape intersects with the embodied experiences of hunting. Some hunters, for instance, have been telling us how draining it is to keep up with what is required by the hunting association. Hunting, they told us, has become more like a job than a hobby. This is not, of course, to downplay the role of animal killing, around which much of these activities revolve, as in the story with which we began, and as in many of the stories that hunters tell each others. And so to conclude with Guglielmo's words from the story he wrote, a handshake and a white man's child completes the killing. A killing that was made possible due to some luck, but also to some unique creativity in the preparation of the shot, born out of the ideas of a group of friends. Thank you, and if you'd like to know more about the broader project within which we are conducting this research, please check out the website contours.fi. And if you're curious about the particular case of hunting in Balarsa, you can also read my recent article in the journal Ethnos. Thank you very much.